They got a live press conference. We're going to switch over to them. But in the meantime, let me set up right quick. Appreciate each and every last one of you all for being part of this destination. And it rhymes with Law Nation, by the way. Let's get it. Peace, one love to everyone that's here, that's watching it. Watching it. That's a new word, watching it. Let's get it. Let's go. We building the plane while it's in the air, baby. That's what we do. Come on.
So I think it's a great opportunity for us as a football team to interact. Because it's like, again, we know the rules. We understand the techniques that we want to use, but I think understanding the indicators of what they're looking for, how they communicate. So the collaboration I've always felt with the NFL officials is definitely a step in the right direction of when you talk about discipline penalties. So we got to be better, and this gives us a whole closer environment to evaluate and correct. And so we correct it in team meetings, we correct it in the individual meetings. So we have a good process that I believe in. But at the end of the day, we still got to get the play style where it needs to be, and and just stay after that discipline. So that's our approach.
Will the NFL officials also be working the practices with the Broncos and the Chargers?
That is correct.
Yeah. Earl Cox had a play Saturday where he showed us some range by getting to Rico before the pylon.
Down in the red zone?
Yeah.
Were you in a team meeting today, Michael?
What did that play speak to you in terms of where he is coming?
Well, he made the tracking highlight reel for team fundamentals, so it's a great observation on your part. Man, that's impressive. Can't believe I just said that, but it's a hell of a play. It's exactly what you're looking for. I mean, he's an outside zone, it was a taxi, an 9-hole play, and excellent play. And then actually Luke Gifford, we had what we call a pylon punch-out situation where the defender and the ball carrier get to the pylon at the same time. So the techniques that we use there, so we're able to highlight that today in the team meeting. But yes, that's exactly what you're looking for, and that's what Jabril brings to the table.
He made that great catch, and everybody saw it. But what did you think of the reaction of the teammates and everybody coming over? And
well, I think it's awesome on a number of fronts. I mean, you're talking about a young man that's been here quite some time, has gone through a lot to get in position for this opportunity. So when you see that, something like that, because we all understand the work that he's put in, and the patience that he's had going through this. But also it speaks to, that's his gift. I mean, he's a big target in the red zone, and we've all been waiting for that and looking for it. And obviously when we get in pads, and those opportunities come, and it'll go to a different level. But I think it's just a combination of all those things. A lot of guys excited for him, but also excited for the play, excited for the skill that you have down there in the red zone, because you love those big targets that can win the 50-50 balls.
As a 6'6" wide receiver, it just seems like an interesting build in terms of special teams. If you're not going to be a top 3 receiver, is that a challenge to make the roster?
That's an excellent observation, because I think we can make mistakes there as coaches when you look at long receivers. And I had a young man at Geronimo Allison in Green Bay, really high cut receiver, and you're thinking, man, this guy just, he's going to struggle on special teams. He hadn't played it in college at Illinois, and so you get like a predetermined evaluation on a guy because of his build. But it's just like anything, if he can play like that in the red zone, he also obviously has the athletic ability to play, as long as he learns how to play with his power angles. So more work to do, there, but it's definitely something that I think we all have said, oh man, he's not built for special teams, and that hasn't been the case, because as we know, for young receiver, any young player, you have to have special team responsibility. We get in these personnel meetings, the thing that I always bring up is, hey, they have to do 2 things. Outside of your quarterback or your a premier pass rusher or left tackle. I mean, for most part, your positional players have to be able to do 2 things. And for a young receiver, obviously, special team responsibility is important.
It's early, of course, in your kicker competition, but what did you take from the first day of getting Liram and Jonathan out there together?
Well, it was their first time, in front of a crowd, obviously, but also with the protection and rush behind them. I mean, it's not what they were looking for. So I think the thing that I walked away from practice is we need to do more of it. So, frankly, we're going to kick every day this week. We'll kick today, tomorrow, and then we'll kick Thursday and Friday. So we got to make sure we give both those guys more opportunities.
What's Jake Ferguson showing you out here?
Love his tenacity. Everything we thought he was. You love his tenacity. Bright, has a clear understanding. Multiple positional player. I think Jake's the kind of guy that'll show up today. You put the pads on. That's his game.
Good stuff.
So I think he's off to a good start. Just like he's got this. He's got good understanding for a young guy. Obviously, he's grown up around football, but I think he's put a good foundation, and I'm excited to see him in pads today.
You had the background with Kirsch playing against him for a couple of years. Was there a moment when he got here where you're like, we can give him more than what he's been?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, he's one of those guys when you watch across the field, because special teams wasn't the best thing we did in Green Bay, and he was a problem. I mean, he was a matchup. I mean, he was a matchup problem big time. As I recall back when he was in Minnesota, and then I really liked what got me on him was I really liked what they did with him in Detroit. As far as that's when they used him as a matchup player,
right?
Because you didn't see that, as I recall, in Minnesota. But his ability to go and cover tight ends and so forth. And I remember when he came in on his visit, that's how we visualized him. And then I think it's like anything. And once you get in there with a player, and you get to know him. I mean, clearly he was capable of doing so much more. And I mean, JK has as good or the best understanding of our defense and game situation. I mean, he's a very instinctive, smart football player that has a unique skill set. So I think that clearly shows in how we're using him. So just real excited to see him take those jumps from Minnesota to Detroit and how he's playing for us. So love him.
A lot of three safeties out there in practice. Is that situational personnel the offense is in, or is it just that those three?
I mean, that's really how we played last year. If you look around the league, base defense is up to 24% on first and second down. I think we were 1% last year. So I mean, it's part of our big nickel package. The ability to stay in nickel for the matchup, but still get into base defense fronts and angles and techniques and so forth. So I mean, that's really how we started playing about midway last year, and so that's really our base, of how we look at the offense.
What is your offense's execution in terms of cadence this year, right now, compared to maybe this time in camp last year?
Clearly better. Yeah, there's no question there. Roxanne does a phenomenal job with the video. So she's actually, hey, Rox, yeah, I'm talking right there.
There she goes.
So just the video that we've been capturing too, I think it really helps our younger players. So and we were talking about a Tyler Smith, getting in there and just to review, Dak's voice, and it's really good for the other quarterbacks. So we're definitely more in sync this year, clearly, than at this time last year. So we're off to a good start.
Do you think the Austin Powers sequels held up, or not so much?
I'm going to have to claim ignorance there. I'm a movie clip guy, but it's, there's just a certain clip I use to make a point, and it's a clip that they'll never forget because it's different, obnoxious, and I told them, because when you get ready for a team meeting, obviously you look at it in your office, and sitting there watching my office, I just thought this thing was the funniest thing ever, and then you play in the team meeting, and that's not the response you get. And I said,
no doubt.
Well, I obviously enjoyed this a lot more than they did, but it made the point, is all I was trying to do. So, yeah, a lot of carryover.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, so that was Mike McCarthy there, and I can't wait to get back out there. I got about 15 to 20 minutes with you guys before I head that way. I really appreciate everybody for jumping in. Want to be able to give you guys my thoughts on this morning. I'm going to pay close attention to Sam Williams, some of the rookies there. I want to see whether or not these wide receivers, especially the younger crowd, can get off at the top of the route. You got to have physicality at the top. I want to see how they come off of their releases too, and whether or not this team elect to play press cover versus loose man. So we're going to look at that, and keep in mind this team is still a zone cover team, a cover 3 team. So if if they still go back to pressing, then I would say, all right, cool. That's a good situation there because that means physicality will be there, and they are expecting the defensive front to get up to the and create pressure on the quarterback. The other thing that I will be taking a look for is formations, especially Tony Pollard. They talked about for the last 3 years that they're going to get Tony Pollard involved, right? So we're going to see whether or not will they utilize Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the backfield at the same time, right? And then we're going to look at the aspect of course, Dennis Houston. We want to see if he can continue to strive. Cavante, Turpin, we may see some special team stuff out of him. I can't wait to see him as well. And, of course, Jalen Tolbert and Simi Fehoko. Simi, I've been working with the second team, and I think him and Will Greer are pretty much on the same page. As far as the backup quarterback scenario, it appears that Will Greer is putting a little pressure on Cooper Rush. So we'll find out now whether or not, he can continue to do that. There were storylines last year that Will Greer, if you put in his preseason tape versus any of our backup preseason tape, they would all say, hey, man, that would be the backup quarterback, Will Greer. So we'll find out down the line. Shout out to you, Jay Versick. Thank you for jumping in. He says, see if we can find some tape to give the Eagles so that they can see how it feels to look good for once. Well, we will take a look at that, man. Shout out to the Eagles, man. I can't wait to play against them and all who they got this offseason. You still got to put in work. You still got to put in grind. Just because you go out there and get certain players that doesn't mean that those players will work. And that's been the storyline for a long time. Even with our team, Cowboys, we were the team that went out there and said, okay, we need this guy in order to elevate that guy and these sorts of things. But majority of it comes from coaching. You got to have coaches that are able to elevate things, and I hope that with the third year now with Mike McCarthy, that we'll see some growth aspect out of this team collectively. And the second year with Dan Quinn, we'll see this team flying out to the ball even more. Law, our opener is against the Broncos, right? Nah, that's just preseason. I wouldn't hold preseason to that much of weight. Our opener is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's when you scheme. That's when you play a style of defense to take away what the opposing team does best. And that's when you also put out your tape with what you do best. But since we have only 3 preseason games now, what we're trying to do is evaluate players. You're not trying to win the game. You're not trying to win the preseason game. You're trying to evaluate the players. Now, there will be some low-hanging fruit fans that will say, hey, we lost the preseason game. It's fire and brimstone need to come. That's not the case nor scenario. Appreciate everybody. Jay Worthy, Law. We got football Thursday. Thank God. Thank goodness. Oh, my bad. I can't read today. But, yeah, football this Thursday. Who playing? By the way, Jay? Who playing? Appreciate all your hard work and keeping us informed. You're the man, bro. I appreciate all of you all. All right, so 3 phases of a football game right now. Special teams. Offense, defense, right? And today we're going to see whether or not – now here's the thing is with the kicking situation. Jonathan Garibay still my guy, although he missed 4 kicks, right, and made 50%. That's not good, right? But that was his first day out there, and keep in mind, some people perform better when the lights are on. Some people just not practice people, So let's not get all hung up on that. I'm glad that they brought in Lyram so that it can give a balanced approach. And he shouldn't feel comfortable now, right? Knowing that, hey, I'm the only one out here and I will be the kicker. No. You put the fire up under him so that he can perform better. So I'm still all hopes for that. Appreciate that. Shout out to you, Darren. Low-hanging fruit. Yeah. Yeah. You like Lyram more? Well, Lyram both. I think Lyram got more experience, right? Right? So if you're going to go with the experienced guy who's been bounced around from team to team, then go with that. But let it be a true real competition when it's down to it. And that's what we're looking for in the preseason game. Think about it like this. Even though football is a team sport, unfortunately, the selfish part of preseason, you got to look at the individual. You got to. So if a player get burnt in preseason, we talking about preseason. If he get burnt, then shame, right? Shame on him. But you got burnt. It's on national TV. Everybody's watching. And all of these guys that's on the fringe of not making the team, they got to look at it like, hey, I got my resume. This is a live resume that's visible to 31 other teams. Let me repeat, this is a live resume that's visible to 31 other teams. So you got to make sure that you putting out the best tape possible. And you can't play hero ball too, right? Even though you trying to say to yourself, I want to win this game, but if pegged as being the guy that's go reckless abandonment, right? And it goes crazy real south. Those scouts are going to put that on a report, and they're going to send that horrible tape where everybody's going to see that horrible tape, and you may not get another opportunity to play again. That's how crazy this is, right? Dak owns filthy. Appreciate you crying. The game versus the Buck is a home game. Yes, you're right. And speaking of that, Cowboys Experience, we have a live event the day before the game that I would like to see y'all beautiful faces out there. And on top of that, there will be autographs that signed. There will be some players that plays with the team out there the day before the game. So you guys be sure to check us out at cowboysexperience.com. And also, if you purchase anything, I don't have the flyer right in front of me, but take my word for it, your name will be entered into the drawing for the Jacksonville Jaguar game, which is a away game that we will be spilling over doing away games as well. So shout out to Cowboys Experience. Check out Cowboys Experience. Just mention, hey, man, I want that Law Nation package. I want that Law Nation special, and they would take good care of you at Cowboys Experience. I see why other team fans always in the Cowboys chat. This is C. Nix. Yep. I mean, it's a Stockholm syndrome, and I appreciate them for being in the chat, by the way. That let me know that, hey, you know, here's the craziest thing, though, you know, speaking of other teams' fans, you reach out to that which is good, right? And regardless of how they say it, they are fans because they help grow the nation, to support Law Nation, which is a entity of Cowboy Nation. So it is what it is. Shout out to them, man. You know, they're bored with their shout out to them, man. Sheila Neal, appreciate you. Shout out to you, Jametta. It's always good to know that you are here, and my prayers is still going out to you and your family. I appreciate you, Jametta. In positive aspects, let's put some prayers together for Jametta. I really appreciate you. James Stallworth, appreciate you. How about them Cowboys? What time we got? It's 10:33. All right, so once again, let me break it down again. Wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert. We looking for what he can bring to the table. TJ Vasher. Can he repeat his por favor? Can he continue to do it now with pads? We know he looks like a stick figure out there. So now that you got the pads on, maybe at the top of the route, the DBs get a little feel on him, right? They rub him a little bit and see if he can knock him off of his route. Maybe that's the case in the scenario. The defensive side of the coin, we've been talking glowingly. Shout out to you, Lawrence. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to the Laws, man. I really appreciate the Laws out here for the donation to help elevate this thing. We've been talking glowingly of Jabril Cox. Can he continue to glow, right? Another guy, I'm going to say Sam Williams. I can't wait to see him. Of course, if the battle between Sam Williams, and if they kick him inside, and him versus Tyler Smith, I can't wait to see that. And since the Pats will be on, now we can take a look at Ridgeway as well as Osa. So those guys, we can't wait to see that. Matt, well, let's go. Might need surgery. Well, he going to have to go. Law, AB looks shaky out there. This is from Akeem. I don't know. I don't know what film he's looking shaky on. AB so far been the best DB out there. No pun intended at Trayvon Diggs, because they're not throwing it Trayvon Diggs' way. They throwing it AB's way, and AB been handling it. The only DB that kind of looks shaky a little bit to me, is Kelvin Joseph. He's been 50-50, right? Give up a big pass, gave up a touchdown, and then he made a few plays. But the solid guys like D-Ron Bland, shout out to him. He stepped up, number 30. Also, the other guy to step up too is number 25. So those guys are stepping up, making some plays. Marquise Bell made a few plays. Izzy and Malik Hooker, they have not been mentioned, because that's a good thing. Safety, you're the last line of defense. As long as you keep everything in front of you, everything will work its way out. And I have yet to see any of our free safeties get used and abused. So we'll find out down the line. It's still early, Cowboy Nation. This is our first week with pads on. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, as old folks say. Shout out to you, Jay Lombardi. Wait until Bryce Young, Philadelphia by week 16. Appreciate you, man. Law, we're going 13-4, and we're going to the NFC Championship this year at minimum. This is from Mario on the Facebook. I appreciate you. You know what? That's my prediction too. 13-4, and I really want them to win one playoff game, and then I set another set of expectations from there. So set one playoff game, and then we keep moving the expectation from there. But this will be good. This will be good if we can get back-to-back playoff appearance. That's been a minute, and I can't wait for us to do that. Mike McCarthy did mention the possibility of a surgery for Matt Waletzko. And there goes to show you that maybe swing tackle may be another situation for us to really dive deep into. Yeah, and Leroy, shout out to you. James, the Cowboys need to trade Jordan Lewis. We are getting thick in that spot, but for who? Who we trade Jordan Lewis for? Because depth purposes is a major thing. He had 3 interceptions last season. Young Wilson, appreciate you. How's Cali, Law? Thanks for all of the videos. DC for life. Appreciate you, Young. Cali is nice, man. Can't complain. The weather is nice. The people are great. The environment is wonderful. They treat me good out here when I'm out there at the practice facility in Oxnard. I really appreciate all of the people that come up to support the nation. And I don't have to reach in my pocket for anything, so I really appreciate that. That goes a long way. I see that people gravitate to us underdogs, right, versus those who are in the media. I appreciate that. I think that you guys see that the raw, real, and authentic person is there live. Spend time with people and take pictures and things like that. So I really appreciate those, man. What I want to do, like I said before, in the future, what I want to do is maybe have someone to be along with me, right? so they can capture some of that moments instead of me holding the doggone camera, walking around with the doggone selfie stick and trying to capture that moment. And that will happen in the future. Kind of like what Mr. Beast does with his podcast or with his YouTube page, whereas he have people following him with the camera that he trusts or what have you. And that will happen down the line. I just got to continue to speak it into existence, baby. Me and Shango are supposed to meet up this week as well. And, of course, I believe Sky, Walker, Steele, and Vach should be down the latter part of this week. And my main man, Joe Boo, Mark Holmes, he will be here today, but he won't make it in time for practice. He will make it in time for practice tomorrow. So we'll meet up with those guys tomorrow. Shout out to you, Jackie. You taking applications? I need to, right? All right, so that's all I have for right now. I'm going to gather up all of my stuff, try to get out there to get a good spot so that I can give you guys the unbelievable coverage of the Dallas Cowboys. And shout out to West Coast. I don't know if he's going to be here this week. If so, we'll meet up and we'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And anybody else that does content, I think we had Super Cowboy out there. I don't know if he's going to be out there this week, but I'll try to bump into him as well. Y'all be safe, man. Make sure you wash your hands. Keep your distance still. They got the monkey pops out here now. You know, I mean, they trying it one way or another to get a brother down. So they got the monkey pops out here. So if you feeling itchy and you got weird bumps all over you, stay at the house, man. Don't be out there mixing and mingling with everyone. They already shut down San Francisco and some other parts of the country because of monkey pops. That thing, boy, this world is crazy. Derek says, Law, do you think we're better zone team or man? Okay, I thought red zone, but are we a better zone team or man? Well, mixed, man. We a mixed team, man. I think that Trayvon Diggs plays better in man, and he will play even better if we have a safety that can roam over the top. Anthony Brown on smaller wide receivers, or not those taller guys, you know, like D-Hop or any other wide receivers that kind of owned him back in the days or last year. I think Anthony Brown is a better zone cover corner versus man, so that's why you mix. I don't see Anthony Brown as a press cover corner, but he can get in there. He got good recovery speed. But Anthony, he needs over-the-top help. I just don't think that you can isolate him by himself. So I think that we are a mixed team because of the type of DBs we got. Now, KJ, that's Kelvin Joseph, is a little bit more physical. And we'll see when the pads come on, but he got the tendencies of holding and grabbing, right? Grabbing and holding. So if it was a idealistic type of DB that I would want on this team, believe it or not, I would want KJ inside or Anthony Brown inside. I would keep Trayvon Diggs on the outside, of course, and I will raise Nashawn Wright to be that other corner on the other side, 6'3.5", 6'4", whatever he is. If you put him in a press situation, I think that will give more teams fits, in my opinion. But he's still raw right now, and we'll find out down the line. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate everybody for jumping in and tuning in to the Nation. If there's one thing a man should always do, and that's mainly be true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turns hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was brother, I will ride with brother. How about those Cowboys? The morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who will try to be smart They'll take a decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those men no man shall call a friend, because they bend lies around the truth until it meets their end. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's get it.
Nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
That's to
No
all the
bullshit,
Eagles.
Bro. Emotional damage.
Let's get it, baby.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
You won't break my soul.
It's Mr. Nasty time. You must be out of your goddamn mind.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Why, this mother don't miss.
No, he's good.
That mother don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Let's get it, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on. Come on. I'm ready now, baby. I'm ready to get charged up out there, baby. Come on. Everything open now, baby. Let's get it. We out. Wartime for your mind.
You could not live with your own failure.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
This is Sparta!
Spartan! What is your profession?
Let me hear it again.
Spartan! What is your profession?
We out, baby.
This is Sparta!